I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And today we're checking out Suspects.
From Studio H. 1 to 6 players. It says it plays in about 90 minutes. We will see, because we are going to do the first of 3 adventures on this stream.
Yes.
So, if you are worried about being spoilered, then make sure not to actually listen to the content of the mystery that we will be working on.
I'll put up a little spoiler tag whenever we start. Yeah.
Yes.
So we can explain what's going to happen and what we're going to be doing in this game here.
So we have never played this before.
Right.
Because had we played it before, we would be starting with Chapter 2 of 3, and that probably would be substandard for everyone. So we are just going to roll with it and play it as we go and learn it together. So I have read through the rules. So we are going to work together to play the role of Claire Harper, who is a young detective who tries to solve challenging mysteries of the 1930s. This game contains 3 chapters.
Yes.
Murder at Allister Manor, which we are going to do
Chapter 1
tonight. The Final Act, which is Chapter 2, which is not the final act.
That's weird.
And Chapter 3, The Wings of Vengeance.
Okay.
So Chapter 1 has 53 clue cards, a cover card, an introduction, a questionnaire, and a couple of documents and a solution envelope. So this might have all. Is this just one of them?
I think so. I'm pretty sure there's more. Yeah.
Got it. So
Yep.
This is just one of the chapters.
Yes.
Got it. So we're going to take the pack of clue cards. We're going to put it in a pile as we have here. We're going to keep both of the supporting documents nearby. Do not look at them until you're instructed to do so, like this. Don't look at that. Make sure we have a pen and paper ready to take notes. So we got our scratch paper. Boom. Look at that.
We ready?
We're ready. Leave the solution envelope in the box until we are ready to look inside at the end of the investigation.
Whew. Let's
So
just look now. It'll be easier.
That's not the point. That's not what we're supposed to do.
Oh, nuts.
And one person is supposed to read the introduction aloud, and then we may begin. So, after reading the introduction, we are going to be instructed to read the questionnaire. Now, I know a lot of murder mystery type things has us read the questions after we've played the game and tried to figure everything out.
Yeah.
Then this one, you get the questionnaire ahead of time.
So we're trying to search for these answers.
Right. And we have to do it in as few cards as possible.
Ooh, okay.
In order to maximize the score. Which that makes it a little bit differently. The faster you answer by drawing and reading as few clues as possible, the more points we can earn. So, we will be instructed to draw clue cards and discover certain documents. There are a few different symbols that we might come across. For example, we might come across something that looks like this. It looks like a number 12. That means whenever we see that, we're supposed to draw and read clue card number 12 to question whatever person is indicated. So we would draw this in order to question this individual. We might see a blue one like this 13, and that's to go to a location. And we'll draw and read this to go to, for this case, the music room.
That's Colorfly's room.
That's all. That's my number.
It is.
So Colorfly and I need to solve this together.
Yes.
And then there are these. There are some yellow ones. It says to examine an item. It'll say draw and read whatever card to examine the item indicated. And those are always in yellow. For some reason, these didn't have numbers on them. They probably, they do have numbers on them. I don't know where they are.
Just somewhere on the card, maybe.
It's not on the corners, I can tell you that.
Okay.
So, you can free to do any of the actions in the order we choose. We can start by questioning someone, then we can go to a location, and then we can go somewhere else, then we can come back to question them, etc. I sort of like that. Like in detective, you've got to go from place to place to place, and every time you go to a place or you scan a card, you're going to use time. It doesn't look like they use time. They just use the number of cards as a timer.
That's good.
On the questionnaire, you can answer one or more of the questions at any point in the investigation. We write our answer on a piece of paper, and we will tick the box next to the number of clue cards we've drawn at the point that we answer that question. All right? All the clue cards count, even the first one. The earlier you answer, obviously the higher points we'll receive. If you're instructed to draw a second clue card at any point in the investigation, you could draw that second clue card after we have written down what we think it is. If we're like right on the border of moving to a lower point count, we can answer and then move on. So there is a variant. We're supposed to agree on the answers, but there's a variant. If you want, you can answer individually and compare your scores at the end of the investigation. So, hey, play along. Maybe you will get a different score than we do.
That's true. That's
good. The investigation will end when there's no more clue cards left to be drawn. At that point, once you've come to an agreement on the answers, you can unfold the solution, read it, and tally up the points. For each question, if your final answer is correct, you're going to score the number of points that corresponds to the box ticked furthest to the right in the chart. So if your chart looked like this, notice who is the killer. They found it within 1 to 30 cards. Where did the crime take place? Well, they answered it once over here, but it looks like they changed it sometime at 45 cards or 46 cards or more. But then it looks like, they got it right there. And what is the murder weapon? Well, they didn't even get it right because over here, wrong answer, no points. So you can change your answer, obviously, but the earlier you get it, the better. Okay. So if they didn't answer that and it was correct over here, they'd get 5 points. But they had to change it somewhere along the way.
Okay.
Looks like.
Okay.
So let's see. Yeah, your answer, the crime took place in the garage, is correct. After drawing 30 cards, you answered in the kitchen. But you changed your mind after drawing 46 cards and wrote down the right answer. You score 3 points.
Okay.
But the crime didn't take place in the garage. You changed it to in the kitchen. I don't know. Oh, no. After 30, you said in the kitchen. The answer in the garage was after 46. I got it. I'm understanding now. So.
Okay.
Let's see. What else? It's a good idea to wait until you've drawn that last card in the set before you move on. We recommend one person to be in charge of keeping an eye on the number of clue cards drawn. Once we have drawn the 46th card, we don't have to keep counting because it's 46 cards or more. Sometimes you will have to combine information on 2 cards to come up with a theory. If you want to see if 2 items go together, put the cards next to each other, and if the colored line matches on both cards, you have found a connection. So, this fingerprint belongs to Claire Harper. How cool is that?
I like that.
So you can draw a logical conclusion there. Some cards will become available after certain other cards have been drawn. So this says if you may draw card 10 if you have collected 3 teapot symbols. So how cool is that? Whoops. I don't think I had it on the screen there. Claire has some tips for us. Claire Harper. In suspects, we have to use deduction and critical thinking. Relying just on your beliefs or your gut instinct will not be enough to solve the case. If your theories aren't backed up by facts or tangible evidence, they're probably wrong. Don't get carried away by your imagination and ignore the facts and logic. On the other hand, a clue does not automatically indicate that someone's guilt. indicate someone's guilt. Keep an open mind, although you might legitimately suspect someone because their fingerprints were the only ones found on the murder weapon. That doesn't necessarily make them the culprit. I hope they don't try to get overly cute and tricksy.
We'll see.
We'll see. If you find a screwdriver, well, it's likely it was the tool used to unscrew a safe. It doesn't mean it's actually what happened. Gather all the clues to reveal the truth. Finally, to make things a bit easier, if you are asked who is the murderer, they acted alone. If the question is who is/are the murderer, parenthesis S, murderers, then that means it's possible there could be one or more.
Okay.
That's all there is.
There ain't no more.
Ain't no more to the rules.
I wanted to point out that this is also says 1 on the side, so I'm guessing they have others planned.
Ooh.
And this is coming out. I think it's releasing at Gen Con, if not a little bit sooner or a little bit afterwards. So pretty sure you could see it at Gen Con if you're going. So if you like these kind of mystery solving,
as we do,
yeah, then you should definitely check it out. But for now, we're gonna go into the game, and you could, join us. We won't reveal the envelope until the end, so you can kind of see how it's played out a little bit. If you want to check out and see what we discover, you'll discover it with us.
Yep. Let's go to the overhead.
Yeah.
All right, we've got our murder at Allister Manor right here. Ooh, this is the introduction.
Oh, is it?
We have 2 documents. Do not look at them. Leave them alone.
Oh, 2 documents.
Leave them alone.
Michael's going to read us the story of happenings.
Fort William, Scotland, 21 December 1934.
Yes.
Before heading to London for Christmas, I went on a short tour of Scotland. The day after a beautiful ramble through the Highlands, I got a call from Inspector Jameson of the Fort William Police. I'm terribly sorry to disturb you, but a tragedy has just occurred at Allister Manor. Mary Higgins, Lord Edward Allister's young fiancée, was found dead of strangulation. You know, Fort William is a small town where everyone knows everything that happens. So when I was informed that a young associate of Justice Cameron of the High Court Judiciary was visiting from Edinburgh, I decided to contact you. We don't have many of these sorts of cases around here. I think that your help would be quite welcome. Since I don't know how to just sit idly by, I accepted this new challenge without blinking. Before going to the Allister estate, I inquired around about Mary Higgins and Lord Edward Allister. The first intriguing fact, there was a 40-year age difference between them. Lord Edward was married twice before he met Mary. When Mary Higgins' name was mentioned around Fort William, friendly and fresh were the words most frequently used to describe her.
Wow.
But local gossips couldn't help but think that the 20-year-old was just waiting to be married so she could get her hands on Lord Edward's fortune. Scandalous, except not really.
Julie's like, ew.
Stacy says that we are suspect to her.
Fresh.
Fresh. Fresh.
Shadow.
Friendly and fresh. So... flirty is the word where friendly in a flirty way is what I guess what
likely
she
did it. Case closed.
Throw the book at her. Another intriguing fact is that Mary's murder took place just a few days after another tragedy, Lord Edward's disappearance. He loved mountaineering and had gone on a climb up Gulvein with his brother William, but William Allister returned from the expedition alone. So, Mary didn't kill herself.
She might have.
I don't know. Well, she might have. But it could have been William who did it. Who killed Lord, what's his name? Lord Edward Allister. Armed with this information, I headed to the Allister estate, which stands a few kilometers from Fort William, alone in the countryside. He did it case closed. When I drew up to the estate, I marveled at its beauty, a vast neo-Gothic manor with a breathtaking view of the Highlands. I can't speak with a Scottish accent very well, so I'm not even going to try. Thomas the butler came to greet me. It was 3:30 p.m. And the butler always named Thomas.
Something like that.
Isn't that
Alfred.
the one from... No, Thomas is the one from...
Yeah.
Is now the head butler in Downton Abbey, right? Yeah. I like Thomas. Hello, Miss Harper. Inspector Jameson told us you would be coming. We have suffered a terrible tragedy, but I'm certain that with your expertise, you will quickly discover who is behind this terrible crime. You shall have free reign of the house to carry out your investigation. I took the liberty of finding a map of the estate for you. Perhaps it will be of some use. Take the map of the manor, document A, and then draw card 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look, it's Thomas. Thomas Smith.
He looks older than the Thomas we know.
Yes, he maybe it's when he got older. Except he might not be there anymore. Spoilers. Your goal is to unmask the murderer. To do this, you must answer the following questions. Write these down, everyone. Or take a screenshot right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lady Mary.
0.
Was Lady Mary killed?
Who is the killer? Yes, Lady Mary was killed. Who is the killer? And we're going to get 5 points for 1 to 30 cards. 4 points, 31 to 45 cards. 3 points for 46 cards or more. So that's question 1. Who is the killer? Yeah, Lady Mary, the fresh one. Question 2. What is the motive? Question 3. What event or events led the murderer to commit this heinous act?
What event?
What event led the murderer to commit this act? Just what events is fine. What caused the murderer to do it? Question 4, the murderer used 3 objects or items. Name them. Motive, she got stale. She was no longer fresh.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
What?
Around here we call that past the expiration date. Wow. Julie says money. Question 5, and this is the last one. In what order did the events leading up to the murder take place? Those are our 5 questions.
But we don't know how many events.
Well, that's a good question.
All right, so 1 to 30 is 5 points.
Yes. 31 to 45 cards is 4 points. 46 cards or more is 3 points. All right, so for those of you who might not be able to see, we have Fort William this way, the forest down this way. We have a conservatory, as you do in Clue, right?
Yeah.
22 is the drawing room. 31 is the library. 13 is the music room. All of these are in Clue. I think they call the games room the billiard room.
I do wish that they made the font a little bit different.
Great Hall, ballroom, porter's room, Edward Allister's study. There is a garage with no number on it. There's a workshop with a number, but there's a botanical garden with no number. This is the ground floor of Allister Manor. So this is the map of the manor. Clearly, there's another half to this. What? There's no drawing room in Clue? Ah.
The order is alive, then dead.
Stacy is on it. She knows.
So this counts as one of our cards, but we can talk to him?
Does this count as one of our cards if we look? Is it when we have it or when we look at it?
Well, that's what I don't know.
I think it already counts.
I think it's out of the stack, therefore it counts.
I think as soon as you draw it.
Yeah.
Let me look. It says draw and read. So we draw and read. He's 40 years old. He's a butler. Miss Mary arrived at the Ellister estate just 3 years ago, but I quickly became very fond of her. I called the Fort William police immediately. The body has already been taken by the police to the medical examiner's office at St. Andrew's Hospital in Fort William. Their phone number is in the Great Hall. The entire Allister family is currently at the manor. They're willing to cooperate with law enforcement. Please take this. It will help you to get to know the family better. Consult the family tree. Document B. We can question him about Mary Higgins, or we can question him about the Allister family.
Wow.
Check out that family tree with all the numbers on it.
Would it really mess you up if I go like this?
It would mess them up, but it won't mess me up.
Because it says north.
Whoa.
Like, I feel like the direction is going to matter.
Well.
At some point.
Sure, but we don't have to turn it for north to be up, right? Do we? Really? All right, so I don't know. We would have to zoom out, and that's impossible on this camera. But we've got Caroline McGovern, George Allister, Camilla Allister. And they married and had a buttload of kids. And here's Edward. And Mary. And his previous wives. Catherine and Margaret. So she died in 1905. She was 28. When she died, or when she died, she was 28. She died when she was 28. She died, she was only 20.
And how old is Mary?
That's Mary right there. The one that I pointed to.
Oh.
And said 20.
She's young.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. There's also Colin. Colin looks like he died in 1905. He was born and died in 1905.
Wow.
Oh, along with her, possibly. Might have died during childbirth. I don't know.
Stacy wants you to ask about the family tree.
Hey, how'd you get a hold of my Ancestry account? Slow down there, Henry VIII. I have a feeling I'm going to need lots of drink. All right, so we can question him about Mary Higgins. We can question him about the Allister family. And we can go to tons of locations and people. All right, we have one vote for ask him about the family tree. You mean the question about the Allister family? We could do that.
Card 40.
Yeah, this would be, since it's just clue cards, this is the second clue card, right?
Yeah, my understanding.
The Allister family has seen its share of tragedy. Lord Edward's first two wives died. His only son was stillborn. Well, there you go. And Edmund and Edith's parents died young, leaving the twins in dire straits. The twins. Is she not there? Edith?
I mean, right here, these look like twins. They're both age 21s.
Oh. Edmund and Edith's parents died young, leaving the twins in dire straits. Luckily, Lord Edward took them in, so Uncle Edward took them both in.
That's nice.
His thoughts on Mary Higgins. She brought a smile back to Lord Edward's face. Aww. Because she was fresh. Elizabeth Allister, who is this one over here. That would be one of his sisters, right?
10 years younger.
His youngest sister. A strong woman, she remains convinced that Lord Edward is still alive. Edmund Allister. That's the nephew. A young man full of energy and great gentleness. I have a feeling he was quite fond of Mary. Edith.
Oh, uh-huh.
Edith Allister. Well, how old are they?
20 and 21.
Oh, they are the same age about.
Mm-hmm. That's sounding really fishy to me.
Whoa.
It's very, very fishy.
Very, very fishy.
It's fishy.
Edith Allister, a confident young woman. A young, freshy hussy would bring a smile to my face too, says Shano. A confident young woman. Jane Lloyd Allister, right here.
N.
A charming little girl.
Yeah.
William Allister, the younger brother.
By 3 years.
By 3 years. He wasn't as successful in business as Edward. His second brother is the one who died.
Yeah, they're kind of darked out.
Oh, they turn dark when they die.
Yeah, those are
And we don't know if he's dead or not.
Yeah, he's sus.
He is sus. So who did he go on this trip with?
That was on this.
He went on the trip with his brother William. Oh, that guy, the one that was not as successful in business.
What does he have to gain by killing his brother? The estate.
The estate. He's next in line. Mm-hmm. So he's next in line. He might like Mary, or something might have happened to cause maybe him to kill her. I don't know. Lots of good. Hey, this is a family channel, says Stacy. About freshy hussy. Yeah,
it's true. So, are we allowed to talk to are we allowed to read their cards or not yet?
Can we read their cards?
Are we allowed to see the card 14 for Camilla, for example?
Well, I mean, you're not going to see anything but that.
But I know, but are we allowed to pull it out and read the back of it?
Girl? Yeah, yes, but that's one of our cards. Yes, we can read the back of any of these.
I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying
we can go to or question any of the people that we see their card. I'm assuming.
I also assume that. I think we should check out Edmund and see what he has to say.
He had to bump off Mary first before his brother. Otherwise, she would have gotten the estate. That's true.
That's fair.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily say we can do this. He is number 2, but it says that we need this to question someone.
Okay, so maybe not yet. Maybe we have to go into his room or something.
Maybe we have to find him.
Let's go to his study.
I don't know.
Let's try 16. We can go to Ed. Is it Edward?
Edward is him.
Oh.
We can go there.
We can go to his study. Sure, maybe we'll find a clue.
A tidy room that is the seat of Edward's empire. There is no safe. The master of the house must have had absolute confidence in his staff. There are various maps and documents about the surrounding mountains on the desk. Examine the letter. Examine the maps and documents.
Should we look at the letter or the maps, or neither?
I don't know.
The maps are probably of where he went with his brother.
Probably.
I don't know about the letter, though. Shano says, examine the maps.
I wish I knew whether we could actually question these people.
Yeah, I don't know if I can, if we can just look at their card or not, but we might need to find them.
I'm going to check out the geek real quick and see if anyone has answered this question. Because that is not clear. I assume no. Yeah, I don't know. When to read cards. When am I allowed to look at the card? For example, in the first case you read, it's from person A, and the card beneath is person B. No, you only read cards when directed to in the text, or when exploring a scene and choosing a number shown in the illustration. That's from Hatchet.
But, so this is not a scene. This is a scene.
This is also not a scene.
Oh.
This is a scene. I mean, looking at this, yeah, see, this says go to a location. This is question someone, so we haven't found these people yet.
Okay.
No, the light balance is really darkening this up for some reason.
It's trying to read that page.
It's trying to, yeah, get it. It's probably fine. If you guys are okay with it, I am okay with it. Yeah, I think we've got to find them in the location. We'll know as soon as we find one of these things with a person in it, and it has the question that person thing. So, did you want to say to examine? Shannon says examine the maps. 17. In Edward Allister's study, you find documents concerning his preparations for a hike in the Grampian Mountains, Fort William, 10 December 1934. Dear Mr. Allister, the equipment required for your expedition will be delivered on the 14th. Again, I would advise you not to go ahead with your plans. Your brother's choice of Gulvain is most certainly extremely dangerous at this time of year. Going without a guide, as he has suggested, would be, to my mind, taking an unconscionable risk. Yours sincerely, Peter McHilway.
He was advised to not go.
To not go.
And then he went.
There is a letter, but I don't know if we need to see it. We can.
Bro looks shady. Yeah, he looks beat up in his picture. It's hard to see it, but he's got like a headdress on.
Oh, I can show you what he looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like he got hurt.
But why does... Maybe that's what he looks like now? So we don't think we can ask about...
Well, there's someone in the Great Hall. If we want to answer this question, we can go to the Great Hall.
That's us.
That's what's her name. Well, I don't know then. Oh, all the other ones are actually the rooms, and it's her looking at the rooms when she's in it.
What was the other thing he says?
Question him about Mary Higgins.
Well, we can try.
It says, or brother saw it as an opportunity. Eddie died from an accident, but had to come back and kill Mary. Same reason as stated above. It does seem like...
I like that plan.
That is a good plan.
The question is, how do we find William?
Suspects 2 announced.
Oh, maybe can we go to the garden?
The garden. What? No, we cannot. There is no number for the garden. Stacy says, I wouldn't follow that lead to talk about Mary Higgins. Wasted card, in my opinion.
Yeah, he might just point us in a direction, like... It seems like number 40 was a wasted card, but I'm not sure 36 would also be a wasted card.
Why is 40 a wasted card? I have a feeling he was quite fond of Mary. That seems rather...
Yeah, I suppose.
Descriptive.
I suppose. Okay, well, from here, where do we go? Or what do we do?
One of these rooms. I'm hoping one of the rooms would lead us to one of these people, and one of these people could possibly be questioned at that point. And that would answer the question of, when do we talk about these? This dance teacher is a guest. This is Thomas Smith, the butler, and he already has card 1, so we know... He is the gardener. He would probably be in the garden, but we don't know because we can't get to the garden.
Right.
If you can just go to any location on the map illustration with the number, why can't we talk to anyone in the family tree illustration? Well, that is because the go to a location symbol is exactly the symbol shown on the locations. The question someone icon is slightly different from what is shown on these. So the icons are different. This icon is the same as this icon.
That's
just one is inverse.
That's what I don't know. Like, it's not clear in the rules.
So it's not clear as to whether we can talk to him or not.
Right.
Obviously, once we get to the card has the icon on it. So
yeah.
once we see that particular question someone icon, then I think we can question them. But I don't think we have that yet.
What if we just go to the Great Hall or the library?
That sounds like possibly a good plan.
Or the workshop, we might find the gardener. But
don't know.
Yeah.
Great Hall, you say?
Those are my 3 choices.
That one right there, Great Hall.
Sure.
All right.
That's us. We found the phone.
We found the phone. The Great Hall is the heart of the manor. It leads to all of the main rooms. This is also where the phone was recently installed. Recently? Wow. You call Dr. Stewart, the medical examiner at St. Andrew's Hospital in Fort William. Wow, that's high tech. After a cursory examination, I can confirm that the cause of death is strangulation.
For Mary.
Yes. The killer attacked the victim from behind. The violence of the injury shows that it took a certain amount of strength to commit the crime. The victim was wearing a scarf, which prevents me from determining the murder weapon with any certainty, but I would guess it was a rope or a shoelace or something like that. If you suspect anything, you can show it to me and I can confirm whether or not it is the murder weapon. Behold, we have 2 lines that will let us confirm whether something is the murder weapon or not.
Wow.
So that was a good call.
Wow.
All right, we are at 5 cards.
It was a good call.
5 cards.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Jane, the 10-year-old.
Because
she's out.
it requires a certain amount of strength. I would say she is quite out.
I'm also guessing it wasn't Camilla, but you never know with 92-year-olds. They could be strong.
Grandmama was
she really disapproved of Mary.
Did she?
I don't know.
You don't know. I mean, you can't say that. It says don't jump to conclusions.
Look at her. She looks really mean. Very disapproving.
So right now we're just walking around the estate hoping to bump into someone. Currently, yes.
That's my idea. That's what it...
Without knowing anything more about the game. I think if indeed we can question this person, it's unfortunate that the rules don't match up with the icons. But we don't know because we've never played one of these before.
Yeah,
sadly.
we don't know.
I don't want to question him and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he wasn't here.
We weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know is the sad part.
Okay,
so,
maybe the library.
Sure. That was a happening place back then. A superb library filled with a wealth of lovely volumes. There's a desk next to the door that leads to the drawing room. At the far end of the library, a small fire is burning slowly in the fireplace. 29 is examine the fireplace. 47 is examine the desk. Dang it, yet another one without anybody in it. I am going to cheat a little and look in these places to see if there is anyone. I am not seeing it.
It's a pretty big oversight.
That's a fairly big oversight. So I'm assuming we can talk to them.
I also If it's not showing up on the rooms,
it's not showing up in the rooms.
It's really...
That's unfortunate. Without looking real carefully at the items, I am going to... It looks like the items don't look like they lead you to talk to anyone. I think that this is the way to talk to them.
Okay.
So I didn't I didn't read any of the things.
So if that's the case, then we should definitely look at Edmund and probably William's card.
Probably. Talk to Edmund or William?
Are they burning the scarf?
They're burning the scarf in the library, in the fireplace? It's possible. I'm going to check the fireplace. They could be burning the shoelace, or maybe it's not a piano wire. They would have probably been able to figure that out. Stacy, what do you think? Check the fireplace.
But do we actually need the actual proof? I think we do. Yeah. Yeah, we can. Try it.
Here we go. Piano string. When you examine the fireplace... What did I say? Piano wire. When you examine the fireplace, you discover a string encased in a very hard material. The string is partially burned. You examine the string even more closely. You discover tiny traces of brown leather at both ends. This is... Are you kidding me?
Not it.
It's neither it nor not it. This is also unfortunate. Well, it depends on... This would be the cards lined up.
So my gut is that this is not the right thing.
My gut is that it is it, and it's slightly offset on the printing.
No, because we're going to need one card with two things.
What?
We're going to need both arrows.
What?
I don't...
Do you not see that it is the weapon and it is not the weapon?
Oh.
One says is, one says is not.
Okay, I didn't read it.
Stacy says I would call that lined up. Well, it is, but I think it's meant to be lined up. When I line them up so that the edges match, it's
slightly off.
It's slightly off. It is off enough so it's like, what, are you kidding me? I think it's meant to be lined up. It does require that I offset the card ever so slightly, maybe a millimeter or two.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's assume it is then. So that means we should go to the music room?
Sure. Maybe there's a piece of piano string.
It's a piano string.
Why, yes, it is. What do you think, Color Fly? Yeah, that is pretty close. And if it's either is or is not, I'm going to go with the is. Mm-hmm. This would be bad if it were that far off.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming they mean, hey, this is the murder weapon. So.
Card 29.
Card 20.
That's my number.
9 for sure. That's not your number. Your number's 312. This is my number, the music room. The music room is a large room that faces west. It is separated from the conservatory by a door. The large windows are hung with beautiful curtains that are tied back with braided ropes. A large harp and a cello are on display, but without a doubt, the magnificent grand piano is the most beautiful object in the room. Clue 27, examine the curtain tiebacks. Or 44, play a few notes on the piano. Clearly the piano is probably going to be, there's
something
wrong. Missing, blah, blah, blah. I think we should ask, there's a dance teacher. There's no music teacher. I was hoping that there might be a musically inclined person who could tell us, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, I think we should start looking at these people.
The second magnifying glass, Stacy, is examine the desk. And this second one is examine the letter. Can we see a close-up of the card? The music room card?
It's telling us to look behind the curtains, I guess. Maybe we'll find something.
That's examine the curtain tiebacks. Basically, they're...
Oh, for the weapon.
For the weapon.
But we're going to... What 3 objects? What does that even mean?
Okay, so the piano string has tiny traces of brown leather at both ends. So he used the piano string with a piece of brown leather to cut even closer.
Okay.
You know, like when you put something in and you can tighten it even further by spinning it around and cuts in.
Okay. So that's...
We need something with brown leather, but we don't have that yet. And I don't think a curtain tieback would be leather. I think it would be more of a rope.
Yeah. I think the brown leather could be from the leather gloves.
Ooh. That is probably it. So the piano string won't cut into your hands. You can wrap the ends of the piano string around brown leather gloves and pull, and the piano string will shred the gloves. And that's why there's tiny pieces of brown leather.
So we need...
Stacy, you're a police detective, aren't you?
We need gloves.
Can you show the map again?
Yes.
And there is a workshop over here on 35. If you think the gloves might actually be there.
I think we should go to the workshop.
Jelfie was thinking the garden area for gloves.
I know, and we can't go to the garden area.
No, but we can go to the workshop. Would you like to go to the workshop?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, look.
What?
Look.
What?
Look.
Gloves.
Gloves. Yes. Joseph Mason's workshop is full of tools and accessories of all kinds. Clue 46, examine the shelves. Clue 39, examine the workbench on which there are gloves. If you have not already done so, you may take card 9 and place it on top of the map of the manor. Do we want to take card 9? It's part of a map.
It's got to be the garden, so probably...
Stacey says, ding, 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 ding. Jelby says, gloves. Look at that.
Ooh, what's that? So we can look at 10 and 11.
There's 10 and 11. Look at that.
Still no number for the garden, though.
No, but look at clues.
Oh, my gosh. So something at the window.
So...
Item card's nice.
So, do we look at the workbench or do we just assume that those gloves are what was used? We're at 10 cards.
The problem is if we look at the... Where are we? Where are you looking at the workbench?
39.
So, if we don't have the card... 39.
We can answer whatever we want. These questions are freeform.
Well, Jelfie says look at the workbench. My gut would be to look at the workbench too. They might be untouched gloves, in which case we're on the wrong track.
You find a pair of brown leather gloves in Joseph Mason's workshop. The suspect's hands are bigger than the gloves. Same size as the gloves. Smaller than the gloves. I love it.
We needed this.
We needed this.
Yeah.
Now we have to go question some dudes.
Or dudettes.
Now we don't have to worry about red herrings.
Yeah. We needed that.
We needed this. Or dudettes. Very strong dudettes.
So that's the second item.
That's what? What does the second item
Object.
matter?
We need 3 objects.
Oh. Well, we knew it was gloves. We didn't need the item. We just needed... I'm going to say this one more time. We need to answer questions.
Right.
We don't have to have the objects.
Right. I get that.
Okay.
But it still means we need one more thing.
Yes. Which maybe they needed a key or something.
Yeah, let's go to 11. It's like in the middle of nowhere.
Let's question the 10-year-old. They look like small gloves. Stacy says, do we assume that they need to fit like Cinderella's shoe for it to be a legit suspect? I think so. I think these go with these, which... And we're using logic. We're not just wild guessing these things out. I believe that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards.
Why would they just leave their gloves on the table, though? Anyway, 11.
They put them back. 11's what we're doing. Footprints.
Yes.
As you look more closely, you notice faint footprints that are less visible because they are partially obscured by the recently fallen snow. From these footprints, you can conclude that someone went into the workshop and then came back out. Snow and wind are not the allies of a detective such as yourself because they make it difficult to measure the footprints. They're probably a men's size 6.5, which is about 10 inches long. They're possibly women's shoes, but you can't be certain.
So that's basically saying not Jane.
They could be for a big woman or a small man.
Yeah. Jane is 10.
Because my foot is bigger than 10 inches long and...
That's some feet.
That's some feet. No, 10 inches is not that long for a dude. Feet, footprints. Because I am of average height. So, yeah, they put them back. I agree, Stacy. I sometimes wear 6.5 in men's. Exactly. Jelfia knows. So it could be a woman.
But it's a...
So it's small for a man. Exactly. Average for a woman. But these two things have arrows coming from them. So that's good. So now we need to talk to people. Or look at number 10 too. We have that one as well.
I think we should look.
Number 10. Footprints. The footprints stop right in front of the window with a direct view of the chair where Mary's body was found. The footprints are fairly fresh. They were left after it stopped snowing. As you recall, the last flakes fell around 11:30 this morning. The footprints are approximately 11 inches long, which probably corresponds to a men's size 11. The other footprints were obviously left by a dog.
This is the person who found the body, probably.
So here's the catch. This is someone that went in the workshop and back out. This is someone that stopped in front of the window.
And found the body.
So this is nothing?
I think this is the person who found... I think that is... So if we find a match here, that's probably the person who discovered the body.
Discovered the body, not who...
Did it.
Did it.
I agree, Jelfia. I think...
Unfortunately, we are on 13.
Yeah, I think we should... 18.
We should talk to Edith?
Yes.
Why not Edmund or William?
Because they're going to lie.
But they also have hands and feet.
Okay. Whatever.
Which we will need to check out.
Sure.
Like Cinderella.
Go ahead.
Who walks the dog?
I assume it's...
Who is the one who knocks?
I assume it's like the gardener or...
We could check the gardener to see if he had the gloves. I mean, it is his workshop.
I agree. They are probably his gloves, but somebody else used them.
Yeah, but that would mean if it's his feet, then his feet are the red herring and 11 is the right one. We don't know. Hey, thanks for following Insidious Intent.
Thank you for following. Okay, pick somebody. 2?
2, Edmund Allister.
Great.
He seems completely devastated. His twin sister Edith is trying her best to calm him down. I was working on my car when I heard Oslo bark. But Joseph got there first and found Mary's body. I went through the front of the manor to get to the conservatory, but it was too late.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He found her. Nope. And then
Neither of them match.
And then this.
The suspect's hands are the same size as the gloves.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. But the footprints don't match.
It's weird because he said he was with the dog.
It does, but man, that does not match.
I see that. It really does not match.
It really does not match. That's pretty far off for the foot. There's no way I can reconcile these two. I'd have to scoot these cards that far off for it to...
It just does not seem right, yeah.
His thoughts on certain people. Mary Higgins, an angel in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Edith Allister, I do anything for her. Of course, that's his twin. William Allister, seems like a nice enough fellow. What, that's all he has for his uncle? For his other uncle, I should say. Elizabeth Allister. Who is Elizabeth Allister? The younger sister.
His aunt.
Is hard on Jonathan and Jane.
The girl.
Jonathan and the husband and the girl.
Daughter.
She seems nervous and has asked Thomas at least 3 times if there is a letter for her. Maybe this letter. Question 50, question him about Mary Higgins. 38, question him about Edward. So we can ask him questions. That was 14, I believe.
Okay.
Can you read his card again, please? I was working on my car when I heard Oslo bark, but Joseph got there first and found Mary's body. I went through the front of the manor to get to the conservatory, but it was too late.
Okay, so Joseph found...
Joseph found and heard Oslo bark with Joseph.
Yeah, that was my
Joseph
point.
is probably men's size 11, so we probably don't have to question him.
No, that's what I thought. I thought Joseph the gardener was going to find the body. That makes sense.
So the conservatory is where the body was found.
Maybe we should go look at it.
It's possible. The twins did it together.
Well, that's why my gut was like, we need to talk to Edith because twins. It's a twin thing.
Could be a twin, and that would be her footprints.
Could be.
No, the question is, who is the killer, though?
Who is the killer?
Who is? Is it multiple? Let me look at the thing again. Who is the killer? Singular. But it might be he's the killer and she helped cover it up. It's possible. We could talk to Edith, though.
I think we should.
Boy's sister was the one who put the gloves back. Lost torpedoes. Hello. Question the hard lady.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can look at this letter before we question her if you want. Because if she's looking for a letter, we could get a jump on that.
We can, but my gut says she would have already found her letter, but...
In his study?
Yeah.
In his study?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she went in his study. It's the younger sister.
I know, but why wouldn't she? If she's that nervous about getting a letter. But, yeah.
So, do we question Edith or William? Or I think William might even be a red herring. But it's hard to tell because...
He went on the trip.
He went on the trip.
With Edward.
We did not play this game some time ago. This is a different game.
This is a different game. I'm willing to go any which way. I mean, I feel like we need to talk to Edith. I feel like Elizabeth would be a good place to visit based on that.
Well, she looks evil.
Well, yeah.
I just got to say. He does not look as evil. She looks evil.
Yeah, the twins will probably just lie. But,
her hands are too small.
But they could fit in there still.
But her shoe is the right size.
Exactly.
Just like every day at 11 a.m., I was playing chess in the drawing room with Camilla. I'm obviously shocked, Miss Harper, as you can imagine. Her thoughts on Mary. Beautiful, young, and naive. Everything Uncle Edward could want in a woman. Edward Allister, who is the uncle.
Missing.
An old skinflint. I don't wish him dead, but I'm not heartbroken he's disappeared. Wow, and he even took her in. Edmund, the twin. He'd be lost without me. Since our parents died, I've taken care of him. He's as gentle as a lamb. William Allister. I don't know him very well, but he seems like a loser who is jealous of his brother's fortune. Elizabeth Allister, certainly smarter and stronger than her brothers. Her only flaw is that she's a woman. Otherwise, she'd be the head of the family. Oh. Jonathan Lloyd, weak and submissive.
Yeah.
Camilla Allister, the most sensible woman in the family. We play chess every morning. That's Grandmama.
Yeah.
Thomas Smith and Joseph Mason. Who are they? The butler and the gardener.
Yes.
She doesn't even know who they are.
She's so entitled.
She's so bad. But I don't think she did it. Everyone says Edmund is gentle as a lamb. Is it possible both of those are red herrings, that it just looks like it's her putting it away and his hands being the same size? Oh, she is deaf in on it. Jelby said killed him to take over the family. Maybe Elizabeth did.
Well, the fact that she plays chess with Camilla, maybe we need to talk to Camilla.
Do we need to talk to Camilla or Elizabeth or both?
Probably.
William?
Did you check the table with the chessboard?
There is no table with the chessboard. There's a desk.
There's the coffee table with books on it.
It's a desk. It says desk. The word is desk.
Oh, it looks like a coffee table.
There is a letter. There is no chessboard. So she plays in the drawing room.
Mm.
When did she die? I don't know when she died.
Before it stopped snowing.
The last flakes fell around 11:30. She was playing chess in the drawing room with the grandmother at 11.
I think it said 9 a.m. when it stopped snowing.
So I wonder... So it says these were left after it stopped snowing, which is around 11:30. So they found it after that. And by 3:30 they were calling. No, we got there at 3:30. So wow, I mean, we got there quick for like 1934.
Well, we have a phone.
So the snow, well, I don't know when it started, but it stopped around 11:30. And he walked after that. This was before that happened because the snow fell on top of the footprints.
Right. Exactly.
That has snow in it. This does not. These are like fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Mary type of fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to go to the conservatory.
Yeah, she sits dead in that chair all morning. It's possible. All right, conservatory it is. The conservatory is a peaceful place. Mary Higgins used it as her reading room. Her armchair was placed to take advantage of the light filtering in through the south window while enjoying a view of the botanical garden. South that way. 8. Examine the balcony that overlooks the park. 6. Take a closer look at the armchair. 7. Examine the victim's detective novel. I think the armchair is the only thing worth note. I don't think the detective novel has anything to do with it. I don't think the balcony that overlooks the park has anything to do with it, except it probably gives you this map, which we already have. Bedtime for Jelfia. Good night.
Bye, Jelvia.
And hey, now she could actually play along as if she had the game. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. We're at 16 cards. We're halfway through. Halfway through our first batch.
I want to look at the novel she was reading, but I know it's not a good
It
idea.
is such a red herring.
But, yeah. I don't think examining the balcony is going to really help. I think probably looking in the chair, around the chair is a good idea.
If you want to find the third item...
We're going to need to figure that out. And we're going to need to figure out what the heck the motive is. And events. What events are we talking about?
I think we gotta talk to the people.
Yeah.
Remember, we can ask Edmund about Mary and Edward. We can ask Thomas about Mary.
I don't trust them.
Thomas, the butler? The butler did it?
Examining the balcony, you may find the third item.
Speaking of which, the butler's hands are too big. And his shoes are the right size. Just so you know.
This big dude has little tiny feet.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Examining the balcony may find the third item, says Stacy.
I was thinking the chair might find the third item.
Maybe you're both right.
All right, pick one.
You pick one.
Whatever. You pick one. I picked 6, she picked 8, so you have to pick one.
Fine, I'll pick 6 because I thought the chair. This is where Mary was found dead. After carefully examining the back of the chair, you notice a mark. It seems as if something was pressed against the back of the chair.
Left a footprint.
The mark is approximately 10 inches long. It's totally a footprint. It's totally a 10-inch long.
Yes.
A 10-inch long footprint.
Does that count as a third item? The chair?
I don't think so.
It's just the proof, though.
I mean, if it says what 3 objects, it would be 1, 2, 3.
Sure. Well, we could lock that in and get 5 points. Possibly.
Sure. But it's this size foot, and so it's not Edmund. Edmund
it's his
did
sister.
not.
I don't think Edmund... I think the sister is jealous because Edmund was having a relationship with Mary.
Her hands are smaller than the gloves.
Yeah, which is... She can wear them then.
Okay, well, sure.
And what was on the desk? We don't know.
The desk had...
Books
of some sort.
I was trying to read the cover, but I couldn't.
All right, so there's a letter here, and this woman has been looking for the letter. That's where I would think we should go. Can you show up the matchup of Footprints and Edmund again? It does not match. Remember, I'd have to move it to this in order to make it work, and that's like way off.
No, his sisters matched.
Oh, the sisters matched. It matched the footprints. It did not match the gloves. Her hands were smaller. Which, Steph is right. She could put on a pair of gloves that are too big.
Versus Thomas, whose hands are too big,
But why would she do it?
To not leave the handprint.
Why
she would do it is because she was jealous of her twin brother having an affair with a girl. With Mary. I'm sure they were having an affair. She wanted to put an end to that.
Why? Because he's lost? He's a lost little lamb?
Yeah, did not like it. Yes, correct, Stacy. That is correct.
Footprint on the chair is the same size as the fainted footprints in the snow. That is correct.
These two
match.
This. All right, let's talk to. We need to figure out. We need to figure out. We need to figure out why. What are the events? Like, order of the events.
Well,
we need to figure out what happened.
Well, we're not going to find out we can't talk to Edith anymore.
We need to talk to Camilla right now. Maybe she missed her chess match in the morning.
Okay, let's do it. You convinced me. What does Grandmama say? Sitting in her wheelchair, the mischievous-looking old lady sizes you up. My dear Miss Harper, you're not suggesting that at my age I've decided to embark on a career in crime? You can't be serious, my child. I played chess with Edith all morning. It was a long game that we began a few days ago. We had trouble concentrating because of Miss Purcell's piano playing. You can hear everything in this house, even though I've asked Edward time again to have the problem fixed. Question 52, question her about the Allister family. Question 53, ask her about Mary Higgins. Grandmama's feet are too small, as are her hands.
I don't think she did it anyway. So she's claiming that she and Edith were playing
all day.
Whatever.
Grandma sounds strange. Yeah, that voice. It's so bad. One more question. Where was she playing chess? Right next to there.
Yeah, with the doors open and you can hear everything.
Well, and no. You can't hear everything because of the music coming from the music room.
But there was no music because she was being strangled with a cord.
We had trouble concentrating because of her piano playing. She was playing piano.
But the piano player would know that a cord was missing from her piano.
Not if she's playing in a certain key. You don't hit that note.
I guess. Then I guess the next thing is to question Elizabeth.
How can she play piano when the string was missing? It's just one string. It's not all the strings. All right, who is this mean woman? This is the mean.
She's very mean.
This is the mean one here.
Very mean.
50 years old. I left alone for Fort William early this morning and didn't come back until early this afternoon. I feel sorry for the poor child, of course, but I dread having to tell Edward. The Fort William police seem overwhelmed. I hope you won't have come here for nothing, miss. I mean, Edward's not there. Her thoughts on Mary, Edward's new plaything. She didn't deserve to die like this. Edward, he's still alive because he's a fighter. Edmund, the kid, too nice to be a real Alistair. Edith Alistair, strong and determined, the exact opposite of her twin. William Alistair, Edward has always been superior to him in everything. I don't understand why he's the one who came back from that expedition. Jane Lloyd Alistair, my daughter, I adopted her 10 years ago. Oh, it was Jonathan's daughter, I think.
Jane?
Jane Lloyd Alistair.
Yeah, she's 10.
Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah, what did you say?
I adopted her 10 years ago.
Oh, she's a baby.
Yes. Jonathan Lloyd, he's the family lawyer. Oh, and he's also my husband. Oh, incidentally, he's also my husband. Camilla Alistair, she's lost her marbles. Thomas Smith and Joseph Mason, they serve us well. Her hands are too small or smaller than the gloves. Her feet are the right size. Same as Edith.
If Camilla's lost her marbles, then maybe Edith could get away with killing her during the chess game.
Which might or might not have happened.
2 people want to see the balcony, so we should probably go to the balcony.
Going to the balcony.
Number 8.
Number 8. The door behind the curtain leads to the balcony overlooking the large park. The snow that fell during the night has cloaked the property in a white blanket and gives the landscape an eerie stillness. You open the glass door. It was unlocked. And despite the cold, you step out onto the balcony. The snow continues to fall gently. You walk back and forth along the balcony, looking down at the ground below. You notice footprints in the snow. Take that card.
Yeah.
As I mentioned.
Yeah. We found a footy print.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, 20.
1.
I counted that.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, 20.
20.
As I said, 20.
Got it. We have 10 more cards we can do with before we start losing points.
Yep. My vote's to talk to William.
Okay.
And maybe the gardener.
I'm not sure he's got a lot to offer, but maybe he
saw somebody run into the workshop.
Yeah.
No need to be sorry, Stacy. Yeah, everything happens. I mean, everything. The 10-year-old knows everything. She'll tell you the whole story.
Exactly.
All right, William. Let's find out about him. We do need to find out about that letter, I think.
So
he's wanting to see the room where they play chess.
Lost her.
We might do that. Right now, Edith and Elizabeth feet fit the footprint on the chair.
And Elizabeth.
Correct.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Supposedly Elizabeth went to Fort William.
Supposedly.
William says, I was walking alone in the forest when the tragedy occurred. It was a short walk because I'm still recovering from the fall I took while hiking. Dr. Pearson comes to the manor regularly to see me. He thinks Edward got lucky with his business. He thinks Edmund is a bit too kind to be successful. Edith is a young spendthrift who is accustomed to luxury. Elizabeth is a woman who is strong and takes the initiative. Jonathan, the husband of the mean woman, is thoroughly malleable, completely under Elizabeth's thumb. Camilla is still sprightly despite her advanced age. Thomas and Joseph are excellent servants. And Cecilia Purcell is a pseudo-artist, which is the dance teacher. We can question him about his business. We can question him about the hike. We can question him about Mary. His hands are the right size for the gloves. His feet are too big, obviously. They match the other footprints with the dog, but that's got to be Joseph.
I agree.
21. Lost Torpedoes wants the drawing room. You want to do that?
Well, we can question him about the hike.
We can. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, we need to figure out what happened.
48. Edward and I have always loved the great outdoors. Yes, I challenged him to climb Gulvain together. We were caught in a snowstorm. We tied ourselves together and Edward led the way. After an hour, Edward fell into a cleft, dragging me with him. It all happened so fast. He must have been poorly attached because I found myself alone on some kind of ledge. No matter how many times I called out to him, he never answered. I was badly injured. So I hiked back along our path alone and made my way to McLeod's cabin. I went back to the cliff the next day but found no sign of Edward. Since I was injured, I came back down the mountain to raise the alarm. You may draw card 3 if this is the third caduceus symbol you have found.
Wow. Okay. What?
What?
All right, what did they wanted to look at the drawing room?
They did.
Okay.
Just off the conservatory, the drawing room has a magnificent hardwood floor. In the southwest corner of the room, there's a chess table. A game is in progress. A small cart with a tea set on it is placed next to the table. Examine the cart. Examine the game of chess. Well, I'm wondering if the cart has poison or something.
Or a sleeping pill.
Sleeping pill, something.
Put the granny to sleep.
Doesn't give us a chance to match the hand or foot size on the brother.
It did.
It does. I mentioned that his feet were the right size for the big footprints.
Yeah.
And that his hands were the right size for the gloves.
The footprints with the dog, probably.
Yeah. So it's probably not him. That's probably Joseph Mason right here.
Yeah. Let me see this. Let me see that card.
This?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, his other card did not have it.
I definitely think we need to examine this cart. 33.
Yeah, you're trying to find that other item, right? A very practical wooden cart. A precious tea set is placed on it. One of the cups is empty. The other cup has hardly been touched. At the bottom of the empty cup, there are traces of powder. It could be brown sugar or tea. It could be brown sugar or tea leaves. The tea is cold now. Thomas enters the room and apologizes. Forgive me, Miss Harper, but with everything that's happened, I didn't have time to clear the tea this morning. It could be brown sugar or tea leaves.
Or it could be sleeping powder.
We
for
don't
Granny.
know. How do we find out? We don't find out. Not with this.
I don't know. We're just going to go on our gut. Even though we're told not to.
We were told not to go with our gut. Just got to throw that out there.
It's just so... She's so guilty. Edith is so guilty.
So guilty.
So very guilty.
I have a feeling we are not going to get this right.
I just don't know the events. Like, we need to figure out what happened on... I want to go look at that letter. We can go look at the letter.
34. Edinburgh, 12 November, 1934. What is today? This is the 21st of December. Dear Edward, as your personal lawyer for several affairs, I must insist. It is for your peace of mind and for Mary's future. I understand your reluctance, but your fears are unfounded. Please forgive me for being so straightforward, but you can't honestly believe that a marriage could have any negative influence on Mary's fate. The fact that Catherine and Margaret both died shortly after your marriage to each of them is pure coincidence. You must understand that. In the absence of an heir, if anything should happen to you, your estate would go to Elizabeth, William, Edmund, and Edith. Mary is not protected in any way. If you don't want to marry, at least agree to make a will. We'll be able to talk about this in person next month.
So did he make a will?
Ooh.
Probably. Well, when was it? Was this a
12 November is a month before.
So we need to talk to Jonathan.
He might have already talked to him in person about it.
Yeah.
Talk to
the lawyer.
The lawyer.
Jonathan.
Oh, that is Jonathan Lloyd. J. Lloyd.
Well, we found out that he's a family lawyer, so.
Well, there you go. 32. The kid probably knows, though. I was resting alone in my room when Miss Higgins was found. I'll have to deal with that in addition to Edward's eventual estate. His thoughts on Mary, a nice girl. Elizabeth, we've been married for more than 20 years. Everything is going swimmingly. No. Swimmingly. Jane, Elizabeth adopted her 10 years ago, a charming little girl. Oh, so it's not... It's not his either.
Right. They apparently they
so
talk about it
she
like
adopted it.
They talk about it like Elizabeth is like they're not together. So it's really weird.
That's really weird.
It's really weird.
Edward, a wealthy entrepreneur. The only thing that hasn't been a success is his love life.
Clearly.
William, he came back from Australia broke with Mary, the daughter of one of his friends, if I'm not mistaken. Whoa. He came back from Australia broke with Mary, the daughter of one of his friends. And Camilla, she's not in her right mind, but I think she likes me. Question 26, ask him about his marriage. Question 30, ask him about Edward's business. Wow, the thing with William came back from Australia with Mary? It has to be the same Mary.
It's gotta be.
And then his brother marries her. Yes.
Sounds very sus.
Super sus.
That's like the name of the game. Suspect.
What is on the paper next to the chessboard? We would have to examine the game. There's not a paper next to the chessboard.
Yeah, there's no paper.
There's the T, and then you can examine the game of chess to see whether Edith was really there. So, was it Edith, who hates everybody? Was it Elizabeth, who hated the brother? Was it William, who brought Mary back and then is jealous of everything Edward touches?
No. William killed Edward, but that's not this question. Edith killed Mary because...
Well, was William there? The hands were bigger than the gloves. No, the hands were the same size as the gloves. The feet were too big for the footprints.
I don't think William killed Mary.
Whoa.
But I do think him getting rid of Edward was the event that caused Mary to get killed by possibly Elizabeth. Everything I think is Edith, though. But they have everything to gain with killing Edward and Edmund.
Oh, we're at 26 cards.
Including these two?
Yep. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 23, 25, 26.
So, in the tea, one teacup was empty, And one
of them was full.
And Elizabeth says that Camilla is crazy.
I mean, was Edith not there at all? We can check the game of chess.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't see how that's going to tell us anything. They've been in progress for many days. So it's a game in progress, probably. I'm not sure what it will tell us, that's all.
That Edith did play or didn't play? I don't know.
But how would we know?
I don't know.
It's clear that the game is in progress. But the game could have ended if we see a checkmate. Therefore, it might have ended earlier than expected.
Well, we haven't asked people about all of these things. About Mary, Edward, the Alistair family. About his business, about Mary. We have 4 more cards before we have to make our preliminary guesses. The butler serves the tea. Did he poison the pot? Which would explain why the other person didn't drink like they knew. It sounds... Yeah, I mean...
The butler has small feet, so I guess.
The butler does have feet small enough to take it back.
But his hands were too big for gloves.
His hands were too big for the gloves.
So, yep.
We have talked to everyone except the gardener and the dance teacher.
And Jane. Who you keep saying knows everything.
That would be funny as hell.
And you keep saying she knows everything. I mean, we can talk to Jane.
Who was to benefit if Lord Edward did not change his will? His estate was to supposedly be split between William, Edmund, Edith, and Elizabeth.
The 4 of them.
The 4 of them.
But the kids don't even seem to know William, which is weird. So
the kids don't seem to know.
They answer.
No, it's like he's a nice enough fellow
or whatever. Yeah. And they all.
Well. Yeah.
They all seem to think that the boy is really too nice for the family.
I mean, he's a loser. She is mean. She is mean. She is bonkers.
And then Jane says what?
Well, we have 4 more cards. Do we question William about Mary?
No.
Do we question him about his business?
No. Unless you want to.
Do we? Well, we get 4 more cards before we have to make preliminary guesses.
We can ask Granny about something.
Well, we can ask her about the Alistair family or about Mary Higgins, and that is it.
Yeah. What is Edmund? What are the things on his cards?
Question him about Mary. Question him about Edward, which was the uncle who is now missing. Lost Torpedo still says chessboard.
I don't think it's going to tell us anything, though.
Watch him be right.
Well, you can check.
There were shelves in the workshop that we did not look at. The shelves are where all the plants look like they're kept, or maybe it's this rope.
Can you show up the family tree?
She wants a screenshot. I can't get it all on this camera at once.
The 2 ladies on the end are not as important.
These ladies on the end are not as important. So
I mean, maybe, but
there we go. I also can't get
the butler.
The butler and everything of this. So take a picture of this.
Yeah.
And tell me when you got that. And then we have these down here.
The dance teacher. I mean, how old is she?
35. Four more cards.
I don't know. Pick something that sounds good.
Let's go with the chat. Chess table. A beautiful wooden table dating from the 17th century. There's a game in progress. Black is about to lose.
Yeah.
With just one move, white will have black in checkmate. What's more, white could have probably won at least 5 moves ago. One chair faces the white playing pieces. No chair faces the black playing pieces.
Yeah.
Maybe she is crazy.
I mean, it's sounding like it.
And she never met with Edith, and Edith did it. Even though the suspect's hands are smaller than the gloves, she had the gloves on anyway, because that's all that she had. Can you ask the doctor about the empty teacup?
No.
No, we cannot. If it's anything about SHCD, whatever that is, it will be the daughter of the driver of the dance teacher. The 10-year-old did it. So the black player, the black player was on the wheelchair. Oh. So Edith could have won about 5 moves ago.
That's true. Camilla is probably in the wheelchair. No, because the black player was sitting in the white chair. According to this picture here.
No.
I'm just telling you what I see on this picture.
I'm telling you, one chair faces the white playing pieces. No chair faces the black playing pieces. I'm telling you what the actual words say on the actual card, not what I'm interpreting from a picture.
Okay.
The words say, Edith was stalling, says Shanna. She kept playing to keep Grandma in her place. Because she knows who was killing. She knows who was killing.
At the time of the game.
At the time of the game. She was there at 11.
That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Dang it. Good catch.
Edith knows who the killer is. Edith was not the killer. She knows who the killer was.
Her aunt was killing Mary. I mean, that's what makes sense to me, but the aunt... Then we need to find other objects.
Well, I mentioned the shelves in the workshop.
Sure.
I don't know. There's an old rope. This rope found in the workshop would make the ideal weapon. No, that's not the murder weapon.
Yeah, we knew that.
Dang it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 28. Not using my own checklist here. Jonathan's hands fit. Jonathan's feet do not fit.
His hands fit? All right. So
his hands fit the glove.
My thought is Jonathan did it. And then
Jonathan, the mousy lawyer?
Yeah, and then Elizabeth returned the gloves. And Edith stalled the game of chess.
I mean, William's hands fit.
I know, but I don't think Edith was working with William. And Elizabeth controls Jonathan by everything we've heard about Jonathan, that he is just submissive to her and does whatever she wants. Probably including killing.
Well, we can question about his marriage. Or not.
But what does, I guess his feet don't match, so the thing on
he wants to see the chessboard card. There's all the description too.
I also say Elizabeth is the killer.
Elizabeth is the killer, whose hands are too small for the gloves, but we're going to go with it anyway, right?
She could still wear the gloves.
Okay. I mean, it's possible she can fit her hands in the gloves.
It's her foot on the back of the chair.
It can be her foot on the back of the chair. Edith and Jonathan help because they have something to gain.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
I just don't understand what the events in order mean. I don't know what that question means.
We're not asking enough questions like this.
Yeah, okay. So we have 2 more cards to ask questions like that.
If the gloves don't fit, you must have quit.
Okay, we didn't go into the porter's room or the ballroom or
the music room. We did the music room.
Yeah.
That's correct. Chess game, sleeping pills, murder, return gloves, burn piano wire.
Okay. I can get behind that.
My theory is White can win 5 moves before her, but they don't win because she was drugged, something from the tea, and not thinking clearly.
She probably doesn't have to be drugged. I mean, that's what makes sense. That's what makes sense if Edith had to get away from the game and go kill at the same time. But if they were actually working together,
just keeps Camilla busy.
Just keeps her busy. So it's one of those, do you think they work together? But who is the killer? Very specific. So what events caused the murder? I think his death caused them to kill her because they did make a will. Because they think he died. He probably did something to kill him and he died, therefore she needed to die.
That's the events that lead up to it.
Right.
He made sure that he had an untimely death, and whether it was accidental or not,
could have pushed him off.
Could have pushed him off, and that's why he didn't want to go with the guide. And they found, somehow they found out that he did indeed come up with a will. And so they had to take out Mary. If she was drugged, she has no power to refuse being choked to death. But it wasn't Mary who was playing the chess game.
Right. Mary was in a different room being killed during the chess game. Unfortunately, there's just no way to know if it was being drugs or not. And the rule book at the beginning said you need the hard evidence, the hard facts, basically.
I was hoping to find on the shelves, I was hoping to find some tea leaves or something and not the stinking rope.
Yeah.
Doctor, sign.
Question him about his business. We can question him about his business.
It's supposedly this girl and the grandmother who were playing.
Yeah, which is not Mary.
Question him about the business. 20.
Sure.
My business? You seem a bit too young to understand anything about it, Miss Harper, but I'll answer your question. It's no secret I didn't have my brother's luck. My attempt to start a business in Australia was an abysmal failure, and I came back here ruined to live off Edward's charity. At least, that's what everyone will tell you. It's true that my brother is helping me get back on my feet, but if you're interested in money, I'm not the only one who would stand to profit from Edward's death. Motorsports are an expensive hobby. Edith lives well beyond her means. And I won't even mention the cost of living in Edinburgh and little Jane's dance lessons. We all dream of having Edward's success.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing we could ask him about Mary, but that maybe that will tell us why she went over with Edward, but I don't really know.
He says pompously to an Oxford graduate. What do you guys want to do? We get one more card before we have to start going into the next card, which we do. That's fine. We can change our answers.
Yes.
It's just going to cost us a point.
Do it. 51.
51, doing it. Mary was a charming, lively young woman who, much like yourself, Miss Harper, she was the daughter of an Australian friend. She and Edward met while he was visiting me in Australia. I'm the one who's going to have to tell my friend his daughter is dead, and I don't know if I'll have the strength to do it. William serves himself a large glass of whiskey before continuing. She was devastated when I came back from the hike without Edward. She was truly in love with him. William empties his glass in a single gulp. I don't understand why she was attacked. She had no property, and we all knew that Edward didn't want to marry her or include her in his will.
He was clearly not in the know.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. I don't think he's guilty of anything. So now's our time to guess at all of this stuff.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yep, we have exactly 30 cards out. Make your last guesses. What 3 objects?
I have piano string, armchair, and gloves.
Oh, you put it underneath question 2 for some reason.
Yeah, mistake.
What is the motive? Money. They want the estate. What events? We don't need to write it down. We know the events, or what we think that they are now. And in what order did they occur? He went missing. They decided to do that. They found the will. Elizabeth's trying to intercept the new will. That's why she keeps asking Edward if there is
mail.
Senor Azul with the stick in the game room. The motive was puppet poking. I agree. Stacy said, I wrote down Elizabeth for the killer and the will in Edward's death as the events leading to the murder. She's looking for the new will.
Yeah.
Elizabeth is absolutely looking for that new will.
I agree.
And that's why she keeps asking Edward or Edmund, who was it? She keeps asking.
For the mail.
Wherever it is. I don't know where it was. No, it's not there. I don't remember where it is, though. Oh, Edmund says, Elizabeth is hard on Jonathan and Jane. She seems nervous and has asked Thomas at least 3 times if there's a letter for her.
Back to Thomas, did we ask him everything that we could?
We asked him about the Allister family. We did not question him about Mary Higgins.
Well, maybe the gardener knows something about the mail.
Maybe. Where would the mail be brought if not the study? I thought that the letter and the study would have it, but maybe not. Maybe the porter's room.
Yeah, maybe it never got to the study yet.
Maybe it didn't get there. Maybe it got brought in to the porter's room and did not make it past there. But I think that was what happened is that they found out from Jonathan that a new will was created sometime between the time that William made Edward disappear. Jonathan said, oh, he already mailed off a letter, so it would be postmarked to get to them. You know what I'm saying? That's one way that they would certify wills, is that they would seal them in an envelope and send them off, and then when they were marked as delivered, the will would arrive and it would stay sealed with that date on it. So that's why she keeps asking for the mail.
Yeah, they know because of Jonathan, because he submitted the will request. And so now they need to intercept it to make it look like it never actually happened. It never happened.
And so now it would be split between the 4 of them.
We don't know who the piano teacher is. There is no person that we can talk to about a piano teacher.
Yeah, there's no piano teacher. There is a dance teacher.
All right, let's look at 41 then.
She keeps talking about Miss Purcell's piano. Oh, it is the dance teacher's piano playing.
Well, we could talk to her.
We can talk to her. Are we ready? Have you made your choices for the 5 pointers?
Sure.
All right. We are going to talk to the piano teacher now. Because we can. I hear you're Claire Harper, daughter of the famous professor of criminology at Oxford. I'm delighted to be able to converse with someone with your background. It's a real cultural desert around here. I'm little Jane's dance teacher. She's not very gifted, but what can you do? Her mother thinks she's a future star. The reason I was willing to come to Fort William over Christmas is that I was offered a generous bonus that will help me settle in London. It's a backwater out here. I had to wait 3 days for a piano tuner to come, and obviously he was no good. No, I didn't hear anything this morning. I was playing the piano while Jane danced in the music room. Her hands are the right size for the gloves, and her feet are too small, according to this. They are not the right size. I also think that we should check the porter's room.
Yeah.
Dan said, criminology at Oxford? Haha. Porter's room, a small room used only by the servants. It is filled with a variety of keys and accessories. This is also where the family's mail is received. As you enter, you cross paths with Thomas, who is carrying a letter on a tray.
Get it. Get it.
This is an urgent letter for Elizabeth Allister. I was going to give it to her. May I give it to you, Miss Harper?
Yes.
Open Elizabeth's letter.
Yeah.
Or personally deliver the letter to Elizabeth.
No.
There's a box of sleeping pills on a small table. There's a label with J. Lloyd's name on it. We said pills before 30.
We did, but we didn't write down.
I told you to write it down. My guesses were pills, piano string, and gloves.
Oh, pills.
What did you have?
Armchair.
No, I think pills would have. We had both said pills. I thought you wrote it down.
Okay.
Stacy wrote it down. That's right.
We'll go with Stacy's notes.
Do we keep going to a certain endpoint, or do we stop and guess at any time? Yes, you stop. You can even change your guesses. But if you don't change your guess, it's locked in at 5. If you do change your guess, it goes down to 4 or 3.
Okay.
So yeah, we can go through the whole deck and we're fine with it. But we need to know as much as we can by 30, by 45, and 53 is the number of cards total.
Okay.
So that was Porter's room. We're gonna open this letter.
Yeah, we can't deliver it to her.
No.
That'd be so dumb.
Fort William, 21 December 1934. This was the day. Today. Dear Mrs. Allister, I'm afraid I'm the bearer of unfortunate news. A few minutes after you left my office, this Mrs. Allister, I received a telegram from the man I assigned to search from your brother. He reported he discovered a body near the spot that William indicated. This body is a perfect match to Edward's description. I'm on my way right now to confirm it. I don't want to give you any false hope. My colleague is a professional, and if he tells me that Edward Allister is dead, I'm inclined to believe him. I am most sincerely sorry for your loss. H. Macy, Fort William Detective Agency. It says remove card 43 from the pile.
We didn't ever looked at it.
That's personally deliver the letter to Elizabeth. Why would she want to intercept that letter? And why did she ask 3 times if there's a letter for her? I mean, she literally went there and then came home. I mean, the mail... that mail runs quick in 1934.
So does time because, 3 hours passed before the body was examined and found out it was a strangulation?
But now we can deliver the letter to Elizabeth, and it's a different number entirely.
I think there's another letter. That letter was for Mary. No.
That letter was for Elizabeth.
This was for Elizabeth.
The detective said, as soon as you left, which she was out all morning, she was not there. So she really was not there. So it really wasn't Elizabeth. Couldn't have been Elizabeth. She wasn't there. Supposedly.
Supposedly. I don't know.
But he says, right after you left, my guy came back, said that the brother was dead.
It's not the letter we were thinking it would be.
No, it's not.
What else?
What else what?
I don't know. What else?
What else what?
I don't know.
We still have several other rooms.
No, we got one room.
And we have 2 other people.
One room, 2 people. Jane and Joseph.
Well, we just have the ballroom, right?
No. Oh, yeah.
Just the ballroom.
Let's talk to... I don't know. I got nothing. What do you think? What do you think? I don't know.
The gardener. Gardner probably doesn't have anything interesting to add. Jane probably doesn't have anything interesting to add. Michael, are you sure about wills being mailed for postmark? I'm asking because I'm not an Oxford graduate. I only have Downton Abbey to do by. I guess it can be notarized. A lot of times you can copyright things by putting it in an envelope and postmarking it. That is one way that you can prove that something was created. Because if I have a copyright claim, if I say that I created some idea and the post office postmarks it, 1974 or something, I can prove that, I created the idea before that postmark happened. So, wills have to be witnessed, yes. So I don't know. I'm guessing that is the letter she was asking for, but she knew she was going to get a letter. Maybe it's a bogus letter. You could say anything in a letter.
Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing.
I also got nothing.
I don't think talking to her is going to do us any good.
She might be smart as a fox and they think she's crazy. I don't know. Eventually we will. We will ask all these questions.
Well, then just pick something.
Who said Edward had no intention of writing Mary into his will? William said that. We can question him about Mary Higgins. That's number 51. No, we already did that. We did all three of his questions.
Did we do this?
Question Jonathan about his marriage? No, we did not.
I think we should do that.
Let's do that. Elizabeth took me as her husband 22 years ago. Since then, we've lived in perfect harmony. Elizabeth and I sleep in separate rooms because I'm prone to insomnia. Elizabeth went to town to order sleeping pills for me because I seem to have misplaced my pillbox. Last night, I had a really bad night. Maybe my sleeping pills have been delivered to the porter's room. I'll have to check. So that's his new batch of sleeping pills. But someone took off with his old sleeping pills. My one and only regret is that I couldn't give Elizabeth a child, but she's adopted little Jane. She's a lovely child with a real passion for dance. In fact, her teacher, Cecilia Purcell, came especially from Edinburgh to teach her. Caduceus symbol, number 2.
Mm-hmm. All right. What was his other thing on there?
Question him about Edward's business.
I don't necessarily know about that. So what about Edmund's things?
Question him about Mary Higgins. Question him about Edward Allister.
What, I don't know.
These two.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think...
We can also examine these books.
Yes, we can examine the books.
Or go to the ballroom.
Yes, we can go to the ballroom. What do those symbols mean again? When we have 3, we can draw card 3.
Where are those sleeping pills? They're in the porter's room. But what it means is that his pills went missing.
His pills went missing, and now he has new pills delivered.
Somebody took them to put her to sleep.
To put Grandma to sleep.
So it's making me feel like Edith is suspect number 1.
Yes. Edith dropped the pills in Granny's drink. While somebody killed... We still don't know who killed her for sure. Unless she's made Granny go to sleep and Edith went in there and killed.
That's what I mean. Like, she already had the stuff ready to go.
Yep, I think that's what happened. I'm fairly sure that's what happened. She just waited it out. So Edith did it. My
and that's why she delayed the game, too.
Edith, yes. She waited on Grandma to fall asleep. So my guess is officially for Edith.
Changed.
And the only reason why a woman could do it is because Mary was also knocked out.
You think?
It's possible. Though using the chair really does help.
I mean, yeah.
So if it's the three objects for the murder was the armchair, but the sleeping pills just knocked her out. So if you want to count the armchair, you had that at 30.
I did. The pills helped because it put Grandma to sleep.
He has a footprint on the back of the chair, Los Torpedoes.
The footprint
To like
that leads
pull.
to the workbench to get the gloves or put back the gloves. I'm not sure which. Or could be both.
All right. I think I don't think questioning Jonathan about Edward's business will help. Though he might talk about the will, if there is a will.
Sure.
Edward is sitting on an immense fortune. Despite my insistence, he did not draw up a will. You can cross my thing out. His estate will be divided evenly into 3 shares. 1 share for William, 1 share for Elizabeth, 1 share split evenly, half for Edmund, half for Edith. Mary wouldn't have inherited anything anyway. But for now, there's no evidence that Edward is dead. I overheard him discussing money with Edmund a few days ago as he left his uncle's study. Edmund seemed particularly upset. I knew Edward had financed several family projects, but perhaps he's had enough. I certainly got the impression that he refused Edmund's request. Maybe we question Edmund about Edward.
Yep.
Because he came out of there upset. Uncle Edward wasn't good enough for Mary. I shouldn't say such dreadful things, because he's always been there for me and Edith since our parents died. And I know that Edith and I have, shall we say, relatively indulgent lifestyles, but I'm not upset about his death. Your astonishment causes him to react. He says he's not upset about his death. Don't look so shocked, Miss Harper. I'm quite sure he's dead. Edith, Jonathan, William, and I were together the night before last. We all had a little to drink, and William told us it was impossible for Edward to have survived the storm in the fall. I remember that Thomas was serving our drinks, and although he didn't say anything, he seemed very upset by the news. Whoa.
What?
He did not care anything about Uncle Edward. He might not have killed Mary, but he's not glad Uncle Edward died. That's odd. Because he's supposed to be the good one.
Yeah.
His hands fit the gloves. His feet don't fit the footprint.
Yeah.
Her hands are too small, but you can fit hands, like you say, you can still fit the hands.
Yeah, this is the...
Yes, I'm reading Edmund. We read Edmund, but we did not question him about Edward.
We didn't question him fully. We could have still asked. We already asked him about Mary, though, right?
No, we have not.
We could ask him about Mary. He's probably messing around with her.
Well, we're about to find out. Who and where found the body? We assume Joseph Mason, the gardener, found the body.
We assume. We haven't questioned Joseph Mason.
Edmund seems particularly emotional when he mentions young Mary Higgins. She was an angel in the flesh. She was the sweetest, most generous person I'd ever met. From the very first time I met her, I knew she was special. Edmund pauses for a few moments before continuing calmly. Can we change the subject? It's too difficult for me to talk about it. It's too soon. You don't know what to think. Is Edmund really that fragile? Did her death affect him as much as he seems to let on?
No, he didn't. He didn't like Edward because
of he liked Mary.
Yeah.
But was Mary messing around?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. I got nothing. We gotta probably talk to Joseph.
All right, talking to Joseph. Yeah, probably an affair. The gardener of Alistair Manor looks you up and down. Oslo has been barking around the conservatory for several minutes. As soon as I realized something was wrong, I called Thomas. It must have been around 11:30 this morning, miss. His hands are the right size. His feet are definitely not the right size.
They match up with this, I'm sure.
They clearly match up with that.
Yeah.
Mary is a shy young woman. Edward is stern but fair. Edmund is a young man with a passion for cars and tinkering, an expensive hobby. Edith, in town, I've heard she's a regular socialite. It's her youth, no doubt. William, he likes to tell me about his exploits, but I think he's jealous of Lord Edward's success. Jonathan, Mrs. Lloyd leads him around by the nose. He asked me if I had any plants that would help him to sleep. Well, that didn't help any.
No. How many cards we at? We at the 45 mark?
1, 2, no, not even close. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, minus 53. It's 38.
Mm-hmm. So, the ballroom?
Sure, ballroom. A superb room where Lord Edward holds his dinner parties. The ballroom offers a breathtaking view of the botanical garden. A double sliding door separates the room from the music room. On the walls hang portrait of 2 young blonde women who resemble Mary Higgins. It's the 2 dead wives. Thomas interrupts your thoughts. Those were Lord Edward's first 2 wives. Catherine died giving birth to young Colin, who did not survive. That's what I thought. Margaret had a fatal riding accident. They both died just a few weeks after marrying Lord Edward.
That's it.
That's it. It sucks.
Yeah, it was not great. That was not great. Yeah, we did that luster. They had the same size. They had the same footprint.
It is the same size as the footprints going in and out of the workshop. That is correct. That's why I put these together, because they are clearly... Wait, she gave birth a few weeks after marrying? Not very Edwardian. Or Georgian, I guess, now.
I don't know. The first baby comes any time after they get married. The second baby takes 9 months. Dr. Son.
Hold on, I need this. I need this emote. Where is it? I'm sure the killer's a woman. Do we know what happened to the second wife? A riding accident. A fatal riding accident.
Like horse riding?
I'm assuming horse riding. We have not looked at...
We have not looked at the victim's detective novel.
We did not look at the detective novel.
There could be something inside the book.
We have not questioned Grandma at all.
At all. We
have not examined the desk.
We've not examined the desk or the ropes.
We've not looked at the tiebacks or the few notes on the piano.
Fairly certain the tiebacks mean nothing.
Fairly certain. We have not... Or behind the curtain. Always look behind the curtain.
Well, I thought that too.
Is it riding accident or riding accident? Well, the butler did not put quotes.
All right, pick something.
Pick something. We need to find this third caduceus.
I know, but I was trying to figure that out.
It's this guy. I don't even know who he is.
All right,
I should keep this over the top.
Let's look at this.
The desk, 47.
47.
No, we get those things from questioning. No, we don't. We get it from things like this.
Yeah, see?
You find some of Dr. Pearson's letterhead on the desk. Using the old detective trick of rubbing a pencil over the paper, you make a few words appear.
Yes.
Dr. Timothy Pearson, general practitioner, Fort William. Patient, Mary Higg.
Patient.
She was the patient. Herbal tea and months is down there. And rest is over on the side. Now we can draw card 3. How about we draw card 3? Timothy Pearson. This is Dr. Pearson. The Allister family doctor came to the manor as soon as news of Mary's death reached Fort William. Good morning, Wim.
That was a quick sleep.
Ms. Harper, if I agree to break doctor-patient confidentiality, it's with the Allister's family's consent. Miss Higgins has been my patient since she arrived in Scotland. I haven't had a chance to speak with my medical examiner colleague, Dr. Stewart, yet. You can call him from the Great Hall. We did call him from the Great Hall.
Yeah.
23, question him about Mary. 45, question him about Edward. 37, question him about the rest of the Allister family. And just in case we need to know, his hands are too big for the gloves, but he does have good feet. I mean, clearly it has something to do with this because, I mean, getting 3 symbols to try to unlock him to get some more information.
He knows something.
He knows something.
I don't know if he's the one in charge, but he knows something. You can ask about Mary Higgins because she was a patient?
Yep.
Sure.
I didn't have time to speak with the medical examiner, but I'm sure he'll tell you the same thing I'm about to tell you. Mary Higgins was pregnant.
God.
Damn! Don't overlook the biggest suspect of all, Steph herself. Done, done, done.
I did it.
You did it. That's why I've been out to the Allister Manor so often recently. Mary's last appointment was 3 days ago. We spent a good part of the morning in the library, trying to be as discreet as possible. Mary even asked me to keep my voice to a whisper. It was almost comical. I do understand her concern, however. She didn't want to tell Edward about her pregnancy too soon. She said she didn't want to give him a false sense of hope after what happened to Colin and Catherine. I beg you to ask with the utmost discretion, Miss Harper. This information is highly confidential. So who did Mary tell? Because that's why you kill her, because if she has an heir, it all goes to him or her.
Yeah, I don't know. My gut says Elizabeth.
My gut says somebody else knows.
Yeah, but who?
So this is what happened. Granny knows because Granny was told. And so then the wheelchair is all a ruse. She drugged Edith. Edith got knocked out. Camilla got up out of her wheelchair and strangled the heck out of Mary.
Not the right foot, guys.
This just took a nasty turn. Grandmama did it.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Maggie Smith. So. If something went fishy like that.
I love Downton Abbey. Love it. We have not questioned her about the family or Mary Higgins. We have not questioned Timothy Pearson about Edward Allister or the rest of the Allister family, if he would know anything. We are down to 11 minus 53 is 42 cards. We have 3 more cards, I think.
Well, yeah, that's why Elizabeth makes the most sense.
We have not seen the will.
She wasn't there.
No, there is no will.
There's
he would
no
not
will.
make the will.
Right.
So
But
it is only going to go to 1 share to William, 1 share to Elizabeth, 1 share split between the kids. Hello, Wigsby check. Wait. Hello, Wigsby check. 1, 2.
Hey-o, how's it going?
That's the only echo effect I have. So yes, no will. We have no will. We have 3 more cards we can draw. Just try to learn Aeon's End War Eternal. I think I'm too tired for that rule book.
Oh. Sure. If you don't know Aeon's End.
Yeah, you need to know Aeon's End. How is he getting split up without a will? Well, that's what the lawyer said. is that he says he did not draw up a will. It's very simple. His estate will be divided evenly into 3 shares. One for William, one for Elizabeth, one split evenly, half for the each twin.
Well, I was also thinking Mary was pregnant with Edmund's child, but Edward probably wouldn't know. It doesn't really matter whose baby it was. Because it would still act as Edward's baby, meaning the baby would get the estate. No matter what, if it's his.
The baby would get the estate because it would have supposedly been his baby.
Right. Because otherwise it would be an affair.
Because there's no DNA testing yet.
Yeah.
It matters for gossip and drama, Steph.
Oh. Right. My apologies.
Insert violin music.
I don't know. We still have a couple more guesses. We still have a couple more cards.
We have 3 more cards we can draw.
Let's look in the novel. 7.
And then we can look at all the rest of them. 1, 2, 3. You want to look at the novel?
Yeah.
Latest detective novel. We're going to do it.
She wrote in the book saying it's his baby.
A fascinating tale in which the detective in charge of the investigation gets lost in faulty reasoning and follows red herrings. In the end, they never catch the murderer.
Dang it, that's me.
That's what you get. Hello,
hey.
Blanket Term.
Hello, Blanket Term.
We're trying to solve a murder mystery, and Steph is trying to...
We have like a few cards left. I mean, there's no other... I thought in the book we were going to find something important about
I think Granny knows something.
Nah.
I think Granny knows that.
I'm not sure.
I think Granny knows.
Welcome in, Raiders. We are at the end of this...
I'm in this picture and I don't like it. That's you. That's you who does not like it.
Hey, I had big hopes for that novel. It's the only thing we really had of hers that could have led us to...
Keep that
It's the only thing that could have led us to information about the boy, the baby.
That's not true. I'm also going to I'm going to put that on your side.
It's fine.
That's yours.
What were you playing, Blanket Term? We're nearing the end of this detective game here. Solving the case. So
we really haven't changed anything other than the will. So, the motive is not really the will, but it is the inheritance. They know.
We said money. We didn't say the will. We said money for the motive.
Well, it's the estate.
Yes, the estate. Yeah.
So you don't think we need to change? So yeah, motive, not money, either love or jealousy. No, Stacey thinks it's not money.
Okay, this is where the variant.
This is where the variant comes in. So Stacey might be choosing a different motive. Making wine on Mars because we couldn't decide whether to play terraforming Mars or viticulture. Stacey says money's the red herring. Well, fine. I am going to ask.
No, okay. You make your assumptions, Stacey, and we'll make ours, and then.
Are we going to deliver this letter to her?
We can. I'll let you pick from now on because I don't know. I think it's money. I think what we had.
This is not legacy. This is just a detective thing. That's why we have spoilers right here. Because this is part 1 of... This is a 3-part thing. Suspects. There's 3 different mysteries.
3 cases
with
inside
this
the
detective.
Box. And so we are hopefully maybe possibly solving one of them. Yeah, it's a new series from Studio H. And it plays out like several of the other detective type games that we played.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am going to show her the letter.
Okay.
I'm going to see how she acts.
Oh, cool.
How dare you open my mail? Elizabeth's manner is cold, but you can sense she's having difficulty restraining her anger. Need I remind you that we tolerate your presence here so that you may discover who murdered Mary?
Yeah, you're a suspect, lady.
And nothing else. Your status as an amateur detective gives you no rights here, Miss Harper. Don't bother questioning me anymore. I won't answer any more of your questions. You can't decide whether it was her brother's death or the fact that you opened her mail that made Elizabeth angry. One thing is certain, there's nothing fake about her anger. As you leave Elizabeth, a thought pops into your head. Now that Edward is dead, they will be finally able to officially discuss the inheritance. Remove card 12 from the pile if it has not been drawn. Card 12 has been drawn from the pile.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was early.
That was early. Well, that didn't help.
No.
But she's now mad.
She sounds sus.
Sus.
Very pushy.
Yep. I'm going to ask Granny about Mary.
53. She's going to be like, she's pregnant.
Mary was an innocent young thing, a fountain of youth that Edward drank from without restraint. She was refreshingly candid, docile and entertaining. I can understand how a man as unimaginative as Edward could find her to his liking. Every conversation with her was indescribably boring and banal. But I think that even at your age, you understand that eloquence is not the first quality a man looks for in a woman. Isn't that right, Miss Harper? Edward wasn't the only one who appreciated Mary's charm and youth. Edmund was enamored of this young woman, it was obvious, but he never dared to admit it to her. He's far too awkward and indecisive to take the initiative. Boo. Nothing. Nothing! Now we must...
Make your guesses, because this is the 4-point mark.
We are now at 45. We only have... Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Minus 53 is 44. We have one more card we can do.
All right. My what events caused the murder changed.
We have one more card. He's doing the Pepperidge Farm remembers one. Pepperidge Farm remembers. It's Maggie Smith, okay?
It's not a great Maggie Smith.
No, it's not. It's the only old lady voice I've got. I can't ask Steph to do an English accent because she can't do one. Nope. Motive, unrequited love, says Stacy. Oh, Edith loved her. I see.
All right, so I like that.
So is money a 4-pointer or a 5-pointer?
I have it as checked, meaning we had it earlier.
Oh.
Everything else has changed for mine.
Everything else. Steph barely does one voice. Agreed. Blanket Term says, so this game looks awesome. I think we're going to pick it up. Look, that's perfect. That's what Studio H wanted. I was worried that showing it off might cause people to go, oh, I've already seen one. I don't need the other two. No, this is awesome.
It's awesome. And you're going to have a completely different experience because you missed the whole beginning.
And this also, Suspects number 2 has been announced. Suspects 1 is this. Now that's going to make you want to get Suspects 2 and 3 and 4, which each of them will have 3 mysteries, I assume.
And all the cards are different. All of, everything is different.
Right.
So.
Okay, we can talk to the daughter. I'm going to tell you what cards we have left. We can talk to the daughter. Which one is 27? Do we know what item 27 is? Oh, examining the curtain pullbacks.
We never did it.
We can play a tune on the piano, which is probably not going to help.
It's going to be out of tune.
It's going to be out of tune. We're going to, and it's going to have one missing. We can ask the butler about Mary Higgins. We can ask the doctor about the rest of the Allister family.
The butler might actually know that Mary was...
We can ask the doctor about Edward Allister, and we can ask Grandma about the Allister family. That's all we have left.
I think butler about Mary.
Butler, there's something about Mary. This is the last card, right?
That's what you were saying.
45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Yes, this is the last one we can do. Mary was the daughter of Mr. William's friend. Lord Edward met her on a trip to Australia. She was a delicate, caring young woman who was very much in love with Lord Edward, despite what you might hear about her. She was in poor health, too. Dr. Pearson, our family doctor, had been visiting her more than usual lately. Our gardener, Joseph, raised the alarm this morning around 11:30. There's something strange in the conservatory, he told me. When we got there, we discovered Miss Mary's body. She was sitting in her usual chair with her detective novel at her feet. She was already dead. There was nothing we could do. Nothing. All right. That is 45. Now we can ask everything else.
Okay.
And if it changes, you're down to 3 points.
Yeah, what does the little girl say?
The little girl says, I spent the morning with Miss Purcell in the music room. She kept shouting at the piano. She said the tuner was an idiot. I heard a noise in the conservatory like something had fallen to the ground. But Miss Purcell forbade me to stop our lesson to go take a look. Her hands are too small for the gloves.
Yeah.
And her feet were also too small.
Because she is a kid.
Because she's a kid. Of course. Elizabeth, she's in charge of everything. But I think she's sad today. Maybe it's because of the important letter she says she's been waiting for. Her thoughts on Jonathan. He often tells me stories about explorers. He's sad he's not one of them. Mary, she was very beautiful and nice to me. Edward, I'm sure he'll come back. Camilla, she's funny. She sleeps all the time. Oh, she sleeps all the time. Cecilia, I think she doesn't like me very much, and she's just giving me lessons for the money. She wants to be an actress. That's the dance teacher. All right, that's useless. This is the curtain tiebacks. It's a perfect match for the curtains in the music room where you found it. It is clearly
not right.
Not the murder weapon. The doctor. Question about the rest of the Alistair family. I don't have much to say about the rest of it. All I know is that Jonathan Lloyd is prone to insomnia. His doctor in Edinburgh prescribed sleeping pills for him. Camilla's in good physical and mental shape for her age, if you ignore the fact she's lost the use of her legs, obviously. Of course, she sleeps a lot, but that's perfectly normal. She plays chess every morning with Edith in the drawing room. It's an excellent mental exercise for her. I recently congratulated Edith on it. The piano. You sit down in the front of the piano and mechanically play a few notes, recalling the music lessons you took as a child, except for a few notes that sound out of tune. You haven't really lost your touch. Drawn by the music, young Jane approaches you and declares, You're as bad as Miss Purcell was this morning. Out of the mouths of babes. You prepare to answer when you finally decide all of this is not helping with your investigation. The last thing about the doctor asking about Edward Alistair. Edward was in great shape. He wanted to be examined to make sure he was up to his brother's challenge. From a physical point of view, I thought he was fit to hike up Gulvana's plan, but I told him to be careful and make him agree to turn around at the slightest sign of weakness. I also took the opportunity to examine William, who is in exceptional physical shape and seemed perfectly capable of managing any problems that might have arisen during the hike. He was injured, but he seems to be recovering quickly. Useless, 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 all of which we know. Asking Granny about the Alistair family, Miss Harper, rest assured you won't get a more honest answer than mine. I might as well be completely frank with you. Well, she sounds like Frank. Apart from Elizabeth, our entire family lives on Edward's dime. That's why I have a hard time understanding why someone would want to hurt Miss Mary Higgins. Mary's a lovely dunce. Edward is an overconfident gambler. Edmund is bland, fearful, and unable to take the slightest initiative without his twin support. Edith, strong and determined, the exact opposite of her brother. Grandma swelled a frog. William is a failure who returned from Australia broke and he brought Mary with him in his luggage. His version of his hike with Edward doesn't convince anyone. Jane is noisy. Jonathan has no personality. Thomas and Joseph are excellent servants. Cecilia is a simple entertainer. Time for the answers.
Time now to answer. See them. Okay, go on. Go cut.
Who is the killer?
I should still put up spoilers. Hold on.
Oh, yes, definitely. Because...
Okay.
Over the course of your investigation, you identified several suspects who would have had an interest in seeing Edward Alistair gone. Elizabeth Alistair, William Alistair, Edmund Alistair, Edith Alistair, and even Jonathan Lloyd. They all could have benefited from the inheritance left by Edward. But what about Mary? Who would have had something to gain from her untimely demise? There's every reason to believe that Mary Higgins' murder would not benefit anyone. And yet, one person was convinced otherwise. That person is...
Spoiler! Edith. Dum-ba-dum! Check. 4 points.
4 points. Moreover, as we shall explain, there is a wealth of evidence to prove her guilt.
Yep.
Oh, Stacy's putting her things. Motive, jealousy, killer, Edith, events, pregnancy.
Yep.
And Stacy says, yes. What is the motive?
Money, estate.
The motive for this crime is the most classic motive of all.
What?
Money. Simple money.
Did it.
Edith and Edmund's parents left her and her brother in a dire financial situation. That's 5 points.
Yeah, I know. 4 plus 5.
Since they lost her parents, Edward had provided for Edith and her brother. This did not keep Edith from spending her money lavishly, but this probably wasn't enough for her, so she saw an opportunity to gain her financial independence. She had nothing to gain from Mary's death in itself, but she would most certainly benefit from the death of Edward and his future heir. What events led the murderer to commit this heinous act?
Pregnancy.
For Edith to inherit part of Edward's fortune, 2 conditions had to be met. First, Edward had to die, but he would also need to die without an heir. If Edward were a direct heir, if Edward were to have a child, that child would inherit his father's entire fortune. When Edith learned he was to have an heir, she had to find a way to get rid of it if she was to succeed in her plans. 2 events pushed Edith to take action. A conversation with William. Although she has no proof, Edith is convinced that Lord Edward is dead. Well, we knew this because of them sitting around talking about all this stuff. She became certain of this following a conversation with William. William did state it seemed impossible for him that Edward could have survived his fall, but his death was not enough, as there was the matter of the future heir. Thus, the second event that prompted Edith to act, her discovery of Mary's pregnancy. It was not so much Mary who was the target of the attack, it was the child she was carrying. It was clear to all the members of the family that Mary would not receive a share of the inheritance in the event of Edward's death, but this would most certainly not be the case for his unborn child. Edith learned that Mary was pregnant during one of her daily chess games in the drawing room. The drawing room is just off the library, and the walls in this house are paper thin because of the music that floated in. Edith must have slipped away while her Aunt Camilla dozed off to spy on Dr. Pearson and Mary, who were trying to be discreet. So I guess he checked on her in the conservatory or something. Do we get points for that?
I don't know. I guess not. Or half points. I don't know. Maybe we get 2 points because...
Man, she is brutal. Right. Get rid of it. The murderer used 3 objects or items. Name them.
Piano string, glove, and pills is what we ended up with, but...
To carry out her plan, the murderer obviously needed the murder weapon, a piano string, gloves so as to not damage her hands, and a sleeping pill so she could commit the crime on her own, and to make sure she have an alibi in Aunt Camilla's statement. Got it!
Yep.
Is that a 4 or 5?
I count it as a 4, but...
Got it. In what order did events leading up to the murder take place? I think we've got this. 3 days ago, while playing chess with Camilla, and Camilla had dozed off yet again, Edith heard the whispers of Dr. Pearson and Mary from the nearby library. Edith discovered that Mary was pregnant but kept it to herself. On the eve of the murder, her conversation with William, well, I don't know if we know the exact order of, she knew the pregnancy. Anyway. On the eve of the murder, her conversation with William persuaded Edith that Edward was dead. Aware that she had to act quickly if she wanted to hold on to her share, she spent the next day hatching her plan. At the end of the day, she stole Jonathan's sleeping pills. This explained why he had a bad night and was looking for his sleeping pills. We knew that. The morning of the murder, Edith took one of the defective piano strings that the piano tuner had thrown away after he finished with the piano.
Okay, how would we have known that?
Because we didn't hear a missing note. We heard bad notes.
Just bad notes.
Before her chess game with Camilla, Edith went to the workshop to get the gloves she would use to keep from hurting herself with the piano string. I wish these were like partial points.
Yeah, it's really hard because I would say we didn't get this.
We got some of them, but not all of them. Once Mary was settled in the conservatory reading her novel, Edith put sleeping pills in Camilla's cup of tea and waited for her to fall asleep. That we got. She then slipped out to the conservatory and strangled Mary with the piano string, protecting her hands with gloves. The gloves left traces of brown leather on the piano string. Edith threw them, and it's telling us the cards to look at for all of these. Edith threw the murder weapon into the fire, and as the snow began to fall, she went to return the gloves back to the workshop. Edith should have made the tea disappear, but she probably would have drawn attention to herself by clearing the dishes, because that was Thomas's job. There are several pieces of evidence that point to Edith. The footprints leading to the workshop. The mark on the armchair are a match to her shoe size. The gloves are too big for Edith's hands, but anyone can wear gloves that are too big.
Yep.
Did William murder Edward? This issue no doubt troubled you throughout your investigation, but there's nothing here that indicates whether it was a murder or a terrible accident. It's a mystery that William Allister will certainly take to his grave. Can White really mate in just one move? It's possible. There's your chessboard in case you want to figure out the one move. Your score, what did you get? 13?
Yep.
Edith smiles sweetly as you accuse her of murder. You and she both know that your theory won't hold up in court. The case will be dropped.
You would have had one more point.
14 points is the same. You need 15.
Unless we give half points to pregnancy, but it doesn't say that you get half points for the events. What event /S?
Between 1 and 14, you get what we got. 0 points. Let's just say you weren't in top form. You learned that a few months later, Edith went on a well-deserved cruise to Egypt, and she sent you a postcard.
Yeah, I bet.
Between 15 and 24 points, Edith was eventually charged and was not able to avoid prison. Her brother Edmund, devastated by the event, left Scotland a few months later to start a new life in the United States. And if you got all 25 points, Edith was charged and will receive the maximum sentence. Despite the circumstances, the entire Allister family won't stop singing your praises, and your reputation is assured.
Stacy thinks we got pregnancy, but I don't think so.
We got pregnancy, but we didn't get that Edith overheard them talking. I never thought that they were talking in the conservatory. I didn't know what room they were in, because the book wasn't in the conservatory. It was in the library.
In which case, if we get points for pregnancy, it's either 4 or 2 if we get
We are right there on that line.
We're definitely on the line. I think we had the right idea. I would never have got the other event.
But basically, we got the idea that, yes,
it was
Edith,
because of the pregnancy.
Yes, it was because of the pregnancy. Edith somehow knew about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise she wouldn't have killed him. I was looking for Grandma to say, "Oh yes, I knew that she was pregnant, and I told Edith while we were talking over one of our chess games." You know what I'm saying? That's why I was wanting to talk to Grandma about all this stuff.
Yeah, Stacy, that's what we're talking about, and that we didn't because there were 2 events that you needed to say in order to get it correct, and we only said 1.
So that's why I wish we had like partial points.
I feel like we should have at least got 2 points.
So there are some of these things that have multiple choice questions, and you had to say definitively A, B, C, or D, and it's so much cleaner than, I like who is the killer. I like what objects did they use. I like what is the motive. Asking what the events were, there's too much of wishy-washy. Did you get it? Did you not?
Yeah.
Is it really
it's
what you thought?
Ba-dum, ba-dum. That was my Mario. That's my Mario fail because I didn't hear it.
Yeah, tough, ambiguous.
It's definitely ambiguous. I wish it was a little bit more.
I wish it were more granular.
Yeah, like it.
What did the killer learn that made the killer want to do the murder? That one question, I would have said she found out about the pregnancy. That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Because there's no other reason to kill her. But we talked about that and we knew that. Was that enough? It might have been.
I think so.
So, because we knew this.
We did. We didn't have the card proof.
What was the full answer for 3? Basically, it says 2 events pushed Edith to take action. A conversation with William. Although she has no proof, Edith is convinced that Lord Edward is dead because it was the conversation they had when they all got drunk with William. And B, her discovery of Mary's pregnancy, which it says that she learned that Mary was pregnant during one of her daily chess games in the drawing room, which is just off the library, and the walls are paper thin. She must have slipped away while Aunt Camilla dozed off yet again because even the kid knew she goes to sleep. So
I did not have.
Stacey says, yes, we got it. Edward's death, we said. Pregnancy, we said. How we got there doesn't matter. If we got at least 3, yes, she was not able to avoid prison. We're right there on that line.
It's definitely
personally,
right on the line.
With both of those things between those 2 bits, I think we got enough to get 1 or 2 more points worth of information.
Yeah. So, I agree. We win. I'll give us a total of 15 points. We're winners.
We're winners.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to play the other ones for sure.
Yeah.
2 bits.
Thank you, Dr.
Shaving a haircut, 2 bits.
Yeah, I think it's a neat series. I think it does a whole lot of other things. Actually, we can probably take the spoilers off without talking about spoilers now.
Right. No spoilers.
Now is the time where we're talking not about spoilers. For me, it feels very much like the other detective games. I don't know if it's a whole lot of new ideas going on here, but it does.
I like that it doesn't take off time, but it does time in a different manner.
It does time by cards.
I sort of like that.
Yeah. What's the other one that does it like that? With cards. There's another detective game where you use the cards. And the more cards you use, the lower your score will be.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the
that's
Cosmos one.
That's the one where you throw the card away if you think it's a red herring and you keep it if it's not.
No, it's the in Crime and Zoom series. I think it's Board and Dice.
Oh, I don't know.
Crime. Oh, it's that one. It's like a bird of bad omen or something. A good omen.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. It's called like In Crime or... Yeah. They use the same idea in that you're using as few cards as possible to solve the case. So, yeah, it's kind of like that in a way. It took us a long time
because we read everything.
We literally read everything, so that was a good solid 3 hours. A good solid 3 hours for that. So
it takes a while to read everything out loud and review and discuss it with
everybody. Yeah.
But we hope that you guys feel like you were playing it right along with us, which was what we were wanting. We wanted you guys to enjoy it along with us.
Stacey says, what I like is being able to easily go through the whole story. Also, you have a choice to change your answer at different points. In contrast, Sherlock Holmes, Case Detective, if you go further in the story, you lose points.
That does make it different. That does set it apart.
I do like that, for sure.
That totally sets it apart.
Being able to change your answer just to like lose a point or whatever. So
right.
Yeah, I do like that.
I like
that's
that
a good point. So that's Suspects, recently available or just now available from Studio H. If you are into the detective crime solving,
which we are,
definitely check it out. And
it says 1 to 6 players. There's no reason you can't play this with 1,000 people.
Yeah, and you could do it over Discord or whatever. I mean, I don't see why not.
I don't see why not as well, because it really doesn't take. It does take somebody lining up the cards and stuff.
Yeah, somebody has to do that.
But it's easy for someone to do, as long as they have a camera. And for sure, I mean, in this day and age, everybody
has a camera.
Yeah, because when COVID hit.
Yep.
There was a run on cameras, and you couldn't find them anywhere. And now, fortunately, most people have them.
Stacy says I liked it. I totally felt like I was playing along.
That's so awesome. The art is pleasing as well. I agree. I think the art really draws you in. So for sure, I agree with every bit of that.
Yeah.
So, and it's resettable, which I'm doing right now.
Yep.
So then you can gift it on to somebody else, and then they can also enjoy it. I would not mind, being a fly on the wall and listening, overhearing someone playing this after I've already played it, and go, are they going to come to the same conclusions?
How fast can they?
And how fast do they do it?
How fast can they come to the same conclusions? So.
Or do they even? You can hear them going off onto a tangent, and you're like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
So definitely check out Suspects from Studio H.
Yes.
And
we enjoyed it.
Absolutely. And hey, I'm looking forward to playing the next two.
Definitely.